As a small business owner, do you ever feel like everything will completely collapse if you let down your guard for just a single second? That was definitely me, and I'll never forget the moment I realized that I'd built myself a cage. It was 2 a.m., I was staring at a mountain of projects, my family was asleep upstairs, and on paper, my business was more successful than ever, but I was exhausted, miserable, and I was completely trapped. That's when the brutal truth hit me. Your business doesn't care if you're tired, it doesn't care if you're sick, if your kid has a soccer game, or if you just want a vacation. It's a machine, and a machine doesn't have feelings, it just has operational needs that have to be met each and every day. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to stop being a slave to your own creation and finally become its master by building the systems that make you optional. So let's be honest, are you running a business or is your business running you? For so many of us, the dream of being our own boss turns into a nightmare where we become our own worst employee. You work longer hours than anyone, you take on all the tasks that nobody else can do, and the entire operation rests squarely on your shoulders. If you don't show up, the machine stops. That isn't freedom, it's a job with a terrible boss that just happens to look exactly like you. And it only leads to one place: burnout. And burnout isn't just this feeling of being a little tired, it's a chronic state of stress. And it can destroy your health, your relationships, and your ability to make good decisions. It has definitely left its mark on me over the years. And it's incredibly common. Studies show that more than half of all entrepreneurs report experiencing burnout. And it's not just when things are going badly. Success can be an even greater trap. The more business grows, the more it demands from you, and the tighter that cage starts to become. So this is the crossroad that every founder eventually faces. You stand there completely exhausted, you have to make a choice. Do you keep going down this path, a slave to your very own business until you completely burn out? Or do you find another way? The real problem is most of us don't even realize there is another way because we're stuck in the wrong role. This brings me to one of the most powerful business concepts I ever learned from Michael Gerber's classic book, The E-Myth Revisited. Gerber explains that every business owner plays 3 distinct roles: the technician, the manager, and the entrepreneur. Now the technician, that's the doer. They're the expert who loves the hands-on work, the baker who loves baking, the coder who loves coding, the marketer who loves running ads. The technician's motto is often, if you want it done right, you've got to do it yourself. This is where most of us start, and that's what got our business off the ground and running. But a business that's run solely by a technician can't grow beyond what that one person can handle. When they operate solely in that role, you only build yourself a job. Now the manager, that's the administrator. They crave order and planning and systems. The manager is the one who organizes the people and ensures the day-to-day operations run smoothly. And finally, the entrepreneur is the visionary. They live in the future, focused on the big picture, asking, where's the business going? And what opportunities are right there over the horizon? The burnout crisis happens when you're stuck being the technician 24/7. The solution, and the only sustainable solution, is to fire yourself as that chief technician. You have to step up to become that manager that builds the machine and the entrepreneur who points it in the right direction. The bridge that's going to get you there is one word: systems. So systems are the answer. They're the solution to the painful truth that your business just doesn't care about you. Because if you build the right systems, it doesn't have to. Systems are what allows your business to run without depending on one single person, especially you. They turn that chaos into order. They create a business that is a sellable asset, not just a high-stress job. But building systems can sound like this huge and overwhelming task. Where do you even start? It's actually simpler than you think, and it boils down to just a few key steps. Step 1, you've got to identify and prioritize your bottlenecks. You've got to figure out where you are what's holding your business back. Ask yourself this question right now. What are the tasks in my business that only I can seem to do? Make a list. Is it sales calls? Is it creating proposals, onboarding new clients, or handling customer complaints? Start by mapping out the core processes of your business, such as sales and marketing, operations, finance. Then identify which of those processes are most frustrating or most reliant on you. And don't try to systemize everything at once. That's a recipe for more overwhelm. Just pick one of them, or two, even at most. But these should be critical areas where removing yourself would make the biggest difference. That's your starting point. Now, if you've ever felt like you're on this hamster wheel, constantly busy, but not really moving forward, it's probably because you're trapped in a process that needs a system. If that sounds familiar, do me a favor and hit that like button. Let's see how many of us have felt this exact pain. Step 2, you got to document the process. Once you've identified a bottleneck, your next job is to document how you do it. This means creating standard operating procedures or SOPs. Now, don't let that term scare you. An SOP can be as simple as a checklist on a Google Doc or a quick video you record over your screen. The key here is the 80% rule. Your documentation doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. It doesn't need to be some exhaustive manual in one single day. It just needs to be 80% of the way there. Good enough for someone else to follow the steps to get a pretty good result. You can tighten it up later on. For now, simply explain what you're doing and, more importantly, why you're doing it. The goal isn't to create a perfect system right now. The goal is to get the process out of your head and onto paper or video so it becomes a real asset for the business. You can refine and improve it over time, or even better, the person who takes over the task for you can help improve it. Step 3, it's time to delegate or automate. This is the liberation step. Once a process is documented, it no longer has to be done by you. You have two choices. You can delegate it to another person or automate it with technology. Delegation means handing off the task and its SOP to a team member or a virtual assistant. This is where trust comes in, which is why this is often the most difficult step. So many of us as business owners, we wrap our identities into the business. And to let go of that, it feels like you're letting go of a piece of yourself. But if you want to grow, you have to empower your people to take ownership. A really powerful tactic here is when an employee asks you a question, instead of just giving them the answer, respond with, "Hey, if you were the business owner, what would you do?" This trains them to think as an owner and builds that decision-making muscle. Automation involves using software to do the work for you. Especially with all the AI tools out there today, there's an incredible tool for almost every part of your business. You can use a CRM to automate sales follow-ups, email service to automate newsletters, or accounting software to handle your finances. Every manual, repetitive task you automate is a piece of your time you're buying back forever. Step 4 is to assign a single owner to every single task. This final step is absolutely critical and it's often overlooked. Every single process in your business must have one and only one person responsible for it. When everyone is responsible, no one is. So things are going to fall through the cracks, and guess what? All those tasks, they're going to ultimately fall back on you. Assigning a single owner creates real accountability. That person is now in charge of not only running the system, but improving upon it. They become the new technician for that specific task, and that frees you up to think like a manager and an entrepreneur. Your job is no longer to do the work, but it's to lead the people who are the ones doing the work. The brutal truth here is that your business just doesn't care if you're tired. But the beautiful truth is that you can design it so you never have to be again. You can build a business that serves you instead of being a slave to it. The journey from exhausted technician to the true entrepreneur is paved with systems. It's a choice to stop being the engine and start being the architect. Now, it's not an overnight fix, but it is a straightforward process. Identify your bottlenecks, document those processes, delegate or automate, and assign clear ownership. With every single system you build, you can buy back a piece of your freedom. You create a business that is more resilient, more scalable, and ultimately more valuable. So here's your call to action today. I want you to commit to taking that first step right now. Identify just one repetitive task or one bottleneck that you can systemize this week. What is that one thing? Drop it in the comments down below. I want to see what you're committing to do, and I'll be reading every single one. And if you're ready to stop being the most overworked employee at your company and start building a true freedom machine, make sure you hit subscribe and that notification bell. we're going to keep exploring how to build a business that will run without you so you can finally enjoy the life you started it for in the first place.